TV. Please comment, rate, subscribe, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos as well, man. I want to thank everyone that does watch and share my videos. You guys are the absolute best. So without further ado, it's playoff time, baby. Let's go ahead and get into my playoff picks. But whoa, wait a second, guys. I want to talk about my Week 17 results, guys. I'm not going to hide them from you. Let's get right into it. First game I covered, Packers at Lions. I took the Packers in this game. Hey, got myself a win, all right. Packers 31, Lions 24. Aaron Rodgers had a solid day, man. 27 to 39, 300 yards throwing the football, 4 TDs. Packers just keep rolling. They're in the playoffs as well, man. So salute to them. Took the Packers in the game, got myself a W. Next game I covered, Panthers at BUCS. Woo, woo, woo. Man, I said it was going to be a slobber knocker. I thought the Panthers would take it away in the last, kind of minutes of the game. I was wrong. Panthers 16, BUCS 17. Listen, Winston impressed, 20 of 35, 202 yards throwing the football. Also had a TD in this game. So, Panthers in the season with a loss. I get a loss as well for choosing them. Last but not least, my favorite game, your favorite game, our favorite game, finally putting a cap on this New York Jets season. What a season it was. Bills at Jets. I took the Jets in this game. I really didn't have much confidence. They're pretty much two bad teams. Rex Ryan has been fired. I thought for sure, our coach was going to be fired after this game, which I'll get into a little bit after I do my recap on this. But hey, guess what, man? Jets do get themselves the win, so that got me a win as well. Bills 10, Jets 30. Man, let me tell you something. Bilal House, they're running like a monster out there. 22 carries, 122 yards on the ground. I mean, I'm not sitting here celebrating this victory. The Bills look clueless out there. They actually gave up a touchdown on a kickoff. The guy didn't know he was supposed to field the ball. He just let it roll. Our special teams have been terrible, but that was just an awful play on special teams. Some quick notes after this game. Todd Bowles, not fired. Chan Gailey was fired. The offensive staff as well was pretty much gutted. We got rid of running backs coach Marcel Shipp. I'm really confused about why Todd Bowles wasn't fired. This guy is completely clueless, has shown you nothing in these 2 years that shows that he is a competent head coach in this league. Some of the things that he struggles with, you cannot win doing as a franchise in the NFL. Bad time management, bad management of the game, period, bad play calling, and not knowing how effectively use the roster as well. And he lost the locker room. He doesn't really control the guys the way a head coach should. I don't know why he wasn't fired. Woody Johnson has come out with some statements believing that he can win with Todd Bowles. Woody Johnson is clueless, and he is unfit to be an owner of the New York Jets. But, we'll talk a little bit more about that after I talk about my 3 playoff games I'm going to cover. So let's go ahead and get into these playoffs, man, because I'm ready to talk about the wild card round here. Week 17 is in the past. We're moving forward towards the championship. Again, guys, everyone knows, in this case you just started watching, I do 3 games typically. I know there's 4, but I do 3 because I'm going to do a little bit of Jet talk after I cover these games here. So I just want to leave a little bit of time for that. So let's go ahead and get right into it. My first game that I want to cover, Oakland Raiders at Houston Texans. Man, listen. The Texans are starting Brock Osweiler. Savage ends up getting hurt. That was a guy that they benched Osweiler for, so he's out for the game. They have to go back to Osweiler, and man, what a blow. Brock's been awful. He's been absolutely awful this season. I cannot trust him at the quarterback position. He's pretty much nullified DeAndre Hopkins. This guy hasn't had the type of season that he should have had, dealing with Osweiler for most of the season. It's just been nasty. You cannot trust that guy. So I really think that hinders their offense, period, from putting up points. The defense is solid. They got some guys that can get after it. They have young corners that play very well. But how long are you going to last if you're on that field all game? Because this offense is putrid under Brock Osweiler. This guy's a total wild card. It makes you just want to say, all right, Houston, you got to put the ball in the hands of your running back. You got to see what you can get out of him. You can't trust Brock Osweiler. We've seen it all season. And that leads me to something with the Raiders as well. Listen, the Raiders' Carr gets hurt. that's a big blow to the Raiders. I feel so bad for them. Good young team charging into playoffs. I mean, the year looks promising for them. Looks like they can actually be a contender. Starting quarterback goes down. They bring in McGloin. He's a guy that's capable. He used to actually be a starter with the Raiders as well before they got Carr. He goes down. So now they go back, and now they're going to their young rookie Connor Cook. This guy's shown ability, but guess what? He's a rookie. Okay, this is a young guy that's going to be his first start in the playoffs. The Raiders have to effectively run the football. I think, like I said, I think Connor's got a lot of ability, but this is not a game where you want to put the ball in the hands of this young guy and say, hey, go out there and make us some plays. Let's put the ball in the hands of Latavius Murray. They also have a really good running back, a guy that backs up Murray, Washington as well. Let's run the football. The Oakland Raiders offensive line is dominant. It's a very good offensive line. It's actually one of the best in the league, led by Kalichi Osemele. This guy is a monster out there. So I like to see the Raiders, effectively run the football, open the game up that way for this young guy, and let him pick his shots. We all know you got weapons. You got Cooper, you got Crabtree. You guys have got what it takes to really contend here, but you've got to help this young guy along. You've got to open up the run game there. They also have to get after Brock Osweiler. They've got a solid defense there in the Oakland Raiders as well. That front seven can get after you. Listen, you start putting pressure on Brock Osweiler, he will fold. He will fold. Absolutely. We've seen it. Time and time again, this guy will make a mistake. So with that said, I know a lot of people are picking the Houston Texans, and I know a lot of people are probably going to comment and say, Joe, you are out of your mind. The Raiders on their third quarterback. Look, I am taking the Oakland Raiders in a shocker to win this game. I am. And I know, again, a lot of people are picking the Houston Texans, and I get it. But let me tell you something. I think the Raiders have so much talent on that team, and Brock Osweiler is such a poor quarterback to me. And I mean, if you look at his numbers, if you watch him and look at his numbers, you see it. I think that the Raiders, with all that going on at the quarterback position, they can withstand that because the team is so talented. But they have to effectively run the football. They have to put Connor in situations where he can make throws and win. That defense has to play well. They can't let DeAndre Hopkins explode on them. They can't let Brock get a rhythm going and possibly, heat up just at the right time. They can't let that happen. They have to put pressure. They really have to lock down, and I think the team's talented enough to do that. So, again, I am taking the Oakland Raiders to win that game. Hey, it is what it is. Comment down below. Let me know. Okay, so moving on to our next game. Lions at Seahawks. Man, talk about stepping in dog doo-doo. I mean, the last thing you want to do is play the Seahawks in Seattle. That place is just, it's a romper room in there. It's so loud. That home crowd won't let up on you. And the Lions are going in there, man. Listen, you're playing a defense that is just full of monsters. Okay, yes, they lost Thomas. He was done, but they have guys that can step up and play well. But outside of that, you got, Sherman, you got Michael Bennett. Just names upon names upon names of guys that can get after you. The Lions have got to keep these guys unbalanced. We talked about it time and time again with the Lions. Listen, you got to effectively run the football. You got to find some way to get some yards, because if you think you just going to hike the football, stand back there and chuck it against the Seahawks, you must be out of your mind. Like, you must be out of your mind if that's the game plan, because it's not going to work very well. You have to keep these guys unbalanced, because otherwise you're going to get a face full of Michael Bennett all day. Defensively, the Lions have to get after Russell Wilson. Absolutely. They got to get the guy on the ground. Don't let him start making moves. He's a guy that can throw very well from the pocket. He can also work outside the pocket and throw too. And that's a big problem when you deal with him. He'll roll out, bring guys up, and then all of a sudden it's Star Wars. He's bombing over your head. But there's a huge weakness here with the Seahawks as well. That offensive line can be spotty at times, especially guys like Fane. They have a tackle. They have a lot of young guys on that offensive line that have shown this year that, they'll give up some sacks, man. There's times when they've been pressured. They face some guys, that can get after it. And the Lions front seven can get after you. These are guys, that they got that can definitely put a pass rush together. If they can use these tackles and use their youth to their advantage and just absolutely destroy them and walk through them like we've seen some teams do and get after Russell Wilson, it can be a long day for the Seahawks offensively. The Seahawks, going to their side, they also have to effectively use Jimmy Graham. I think Jimmy Graham is going to be a big part of this game. I think the Seahawks are going to be able to get some run game going as well, some screens as well, because I do believe that the Lions will be aggressive and send blitzes often to try to expose the offensive line of the Seahawks. I'm looking for Lockett to have a big day as well. This is a guy that the Seahawks have to put the ball in his hands. All through this season, people have kind of been saying the same thing. As of late, he's been coming on. They've been finding ways to get him the football. That has to continue, and they've got to take their shots deep early and often, just to keep the Lions, respecting them. And I think they'll make plays out there. So with all that said, I am taking the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. I just think it's a tough game for the Lions to go into Seattle with that ruckus crowd on top of you and what you got going on there. I just don't think the Lions have enough, man. They're a very talented team, but they don't have enough. So again, I am taking the Seattle Seahawks. Next game I want to cover, New York Giants at the Green Bay Packers. Oh man, listen here. This is another game where I'm saying, listen, the Packers, their defense secondary, I don't believe in it. It's a very soft secondary. The defense has been very up and down this year. This is going to be a game where they're going to have to lead offensively. Aaron Rodgers is going to have to put some points up. And to do that, they got to run the ball because this Giants defense is, again, very good. Like, they play very well. They have the guys to really wrangle this Green Bay Packers offense. Up front, you got Snacks. I mean, that guy's one of the best nose tackles in the game. He's played extremely well. You got Landon Collins back there. They've got guys that can absolutely corral this Green Bay Packers offense. Green Bay, again, has to keep them unbalanced. You've got to put some sort of run game together. Again, but with Green Bay, we've seen all season where they've gone to Montgomery. They've had to, provide different guys because there's no, stable solution at the running back position. Again, Montgomery is a guy that's a wide receiver that they brought in to be a running back. I mean, he's put in work. He's made plays this season, but, I mean, you drafted different guys there. Starks isn't there, It is what it is. But the Packers have to find some way to effectively run the ball. I know there's been some issues with Cobb as well. He's injured. He's questionable, I believe. But I think he probably is going to end up playing. This Packers offense has to put together some points. They have to move the football because I don't believe that this defense is going to be able to stop the Giants. You go to the Giants side here, listen, Pierre-Paul not playing. You got to find some way to get to Aaron Rodgers, point blank period. Get him on his back, put some pressure on this guy, make him throw some interceptions, make him make some mistakes. Because if Aaron Rodgers gets going, once A-Rod gets hot, boy, it's going to be a long night for you. It's going to be a long night for you. Effectively running the ball as well will help that. You got to find some way. Again, the Giants, they have this just, combination of a bunch of running backs. Is Jennings the guy? Okay, well, hand him the football. Find some way to get an effective running game going. Because we all know the Giants are a great throwing football team. Eli, he makes mistakes here and there. He'll throw some questionable interceptions, but guess what? I mean, you got Odell Beckham Jr. They've got also got some other young guys there, Shepard. Young guys that can catch the football and get ghost, okay? You've got to find those guys. And I think, again, if they use the run game to keep to move the rock, and keep the Packers unbalanced, especially, late in the game, if they can continue to beat them up, the Packers defense is going to give up some plays. So with all that said, I am taking the New York Giants to win this game. I think the Giants do just enough. I think that this is a game that's going to come down literally to the last probably 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. And I think the Giants make a late drive, score, and end the game that way. But I do expect points to be put up. I know a lot of people are counting the Packers out because of the issues with their defense and their lack of ability to be able to effectively run the football. But I think the Packers are going to put some things together, man. And again, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to light up the sky. So again, with that said, I am taking the New York Giants in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter to make a drive and win the game. So last but not least, guys, I kind of want to end this with a little bit of Jet talk because this, I'm a huge Jets fan, as most of you are watching are probably Jets fans as well. And I want to start at the top. Something I talked about a little bit earlier. I want to talk about Todd Bowles. still being the head coach of this team. I have major questions about this franchise. I have major questions about our direction. Todd Bowles has no business being a head coach of the New York Jets, not at all. Everyone talks about the accolades, all the things that he's done. That was all as a defensive coordinator. Being a head coach is totally different. You know, he came out this week and talked about some things, made some statements that really, you know, really opened your eyes to him as a head coach. When this man talked about, you know, not going into offensive meetings and demanding things be done differently while the offense was sputtering and just absolutely destroying us, I said, this guy's got to go. To me, that's the nail in the coffin. You got Ryan Fitzpatrick back here. This guy's stinking up the joint. And you don't go into those meetings. You don't have anything to do with the offense. You continue to let Chan Gailey put the ball in the hands of Ryan Fitzpatrick in the red zone and pretty much throw our season away. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. It's irresponsible. You want to go to the defensive side of the ball. We all know Todd Bowles is very well known for not being able to effectively manage a game, not being able to effectively manage the roster, not being able to control any of the players on the roster, and also not being able to put together a successful game plan or make adjustments to what the opposing offense has done to counter his game plan. I'm mind blown. Like, all season defensively, we saw these things, you know, things going awry. We saw blown coverages every game. We saw, you know, generally whatever the star for the opposing team's offense was, they would go off on us. A.J. Green went off. Salas Goodwin, when we played the Bills, they went off. I mean, David Johnson in Arizona, he went off. Clyde, you know, Hyde, excuse me, with the 49ers, he went off. I mean, there's so many guys that went off on us this year. It was just like, man, what is going on out here? You know, and that's on him because Todd Bowles is the guy that runs his defense. Excuse me, our special teams was awful. It was awful this year. He fired Bobby April last year, brought in this new guy, Boyer, and it's been absolutely terrible. It's gotten worse than it was last year. You know, and so I don't understand why exactly Todd Bowles was given a chance to gut his offensive staff and choose other coaches or have a chance to be given another year here after watching 2 years of inept coaching from him. What has he done to warrant this? What has he won? You know, his first year, everyone's screaming he goes 10-6. That's fine. But he didn't make the playoffs. He was smashed twice by Rex Ryan. And there were teams that we were better than that year, even though we had one of the softest schedules in the NFL. There were teams that we were better than that beat us. The Eagles crushed us that year as well. I mean, and even if you watched last season, he made monumental coaching mistakes, just like he did this year. I mean, so many blown timeouts, so many just bad personnel moves, and just nonsense. And I just don't get it, but there's no bigger sin, no greater sin than the fact that this man lost the locker room. And if you listen to some of the younger players that have come out from, you know, Quincy Enunwa, Robbie Anderson, I mean, even Leonard Williams had said some things where it's just like, how is it that Todd Bowles is still here when you have young guys coming out and telling you that the locker room was a mess and he pretty much did nothing? I just, you know, it is what it is. Moving forward, we're basically giving this guy next year because this is going to be a rebuilding year. In my mind, it should be. Now, if Woody Johnson allows that to happen, who knows? But in my mind, this should be a rebuilding year. And so that's what's even scarier, is this is a man that has shown you that he mishandles young players. We can talk about the mismanagement of so many young players on his team. Deion Simon, Lorenzo Malden. He made Lorenzo Malden gain weight. Why? Who knows? You know, Bilal Powell was often outsnapped by C.J. Spiller. He didn't do anything about that. You know, putting screen and bad coverages. There were so many things. Sheldon Richardson, an outside linebacker. I mean, so many things that he did this year. You know, and allowing, you know, Revis, the guy that literally showed you, I don't care, I'm just here to collect a check. He allowed him to outsnap Burris young corner that was showing promise. His handling of Darryl Roberts, another young corner. This is a guy that has shown you time and time again that he doesn't know how to grow and mature young players. And you're giving him the keys to the team next year full of young players and saying, hey, go out there and you know, make them better. I mean, if that ain't something stupid, you know, if you show at this level that you're irresponsible, you know, this is common sense. You show that you're irresponsible, and so you get more responsibility. I don't get it. The players were unmotivated, they were undisciplined, and they were unprepared every single game this year. How is it that you're not unemployed? Whatever. You know, at this point, it is what it is. We're moving forward. We're trying to find a offensive coordinator to come in here, which I don't know what offensive coordinator in their right mind will come in knowing that Todd Bowles is on the hot seat, very much on the hot seat, and could be gone after this year. Why would you give up your cushy job wherever you are if you're in good standing to come here? I mean, whatever. So, again, that's just my little bit of Jet talk. I wanted to start at the top. I'm gonna go, you know, I'm going to talk about other parts of the team as well, all throughout the playoffs. I'll be covering, you know, all the rest of the NFL playoffs up and through the Super Bowl. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, guys. Please comment, rate, subscribe, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Again, I want to thank everyone that does share my videos, man. You guys are the greatest. You guys are the best. You know, comment down below and let me know what you guys think about your teams. If your team's in the playoff, let me know. If they're not, hey, what are you guys doing in the offseason, man? What are you looking to see your team change? You know, let me know, all right? So, again, have a good time watching football, guys. Enjoy your times with your families. What a season. You guys have a great day. Peace.